Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal and welcome to the match preview for our big game, massive North London derby clash against Tottenham Hotspurs. First against third. Is it a must win? Is it a must not lose? That's the first question for you guys today. Do we have to win this game or would you be happy with a draw? Which one is it? Is it a must win or a must not lose? Very, very big game. We will be going through a few other questions. Would you start Fabio Vieira, Odegaard? Would you start who? Would you start at left back? We will be going through the Spurs players to watch for tomorrow, some stats as well, and also a few and taking your comments as well for this show. So let me know how you guys doing. The international break is finally over. We've had to wait. We've had to watch some really terrible games over the international break, and even before that, a couple of games got postponed. So we really had to be strong to wait for this game, but it's finally here. A very massive game. The first big game for us this season was Man United away. Obviously, we lost that one. We are hoping that we don't lose this one as well. So let me know how you guys feeling ahead of this game. Are you feeling confident or are you slightly nervous? I remember last season at the end of the campaign, we did face Tottenham away from home. It was a tough game. We had to win that game or not lose that game, and we lost it. And obviously, Tottenham went on to get top four this season. This time round, it's still early in the season, but we are top of the table. If we win it, we create a big advantage over them. We go to 4 points ahead of them. But if they beat us, obviously they overtake us and they get some 2 points ahead of us, get to 2 points ahead of us. And obviously after that, we are going to face Liverpool. So if we're not careful, Tottenham could be ahead of us by 5-6 points by the next 2 weeks. But let me know how you guys feeling. Are you feeling confident? Must win or must not lose game for you guys? John, how are you? Alex, how are you? Alex says we need to win. Timothy says good luck. Isaac says good evening. How are you? Hope you're doing well, Isaac. Nice seeing you again. A must win for us, knowing that the key players are all back, says Watford DC. An automatic win for Arsenal, says Emerson. And greetings from Amy as well, and also Evans. How are you guys doing? So let's start with the first question. A couple of you have already answered it. Is this a must win or must not lose game? So last season when we played Tottenham away from home, it was a must not lose. We didn't actually have to win it. If we went to Tottenham and drew that game and beat Newcastle after that, we would have gotten top four. So how the table looks like right now, we are only 1 point ahead of them. Obviously, if we draw, we stay 1 point ahead of them. But if we draw, Man City have the chance of going top of the table. And I have a feeling when City get to top of the table, there's no one who's going to catch them for the rest of the season. And for Tottenham, if they do beat us, they will overtake us. In terms of goals conceded, we've actually conceded the same number of goals as Tottenham. Both of us have conceded 7 goals, and they've only scored 1 more goal than us. So we are very, very close in terms of that. A couple of their games got postponed as well, just like ours. But for me, I feel like we have to win. Tottenham at home, we always beat Tottenham at home. Like literally, the 30 games, I think it's 30 games that we've played against Tottenham at home, Highbury and at the Emirates Stadium. We've won 17 of those games. We've drawn 11, and they've only ever beaten us twice. At home, they've only ever beaten us twice since 1992. Yep, only twice they've beaten us at home. And apart from that as well, like at the Emirates, they've only ever beaten us once at the Emirates. Like I remember some really, really good games. Let me know what your favorite North London derby memory is. I remember this game when Podolski and Giroud and Cazorla ran riot and we won 5-2. Before that, you had the likes of Van Persie and Theo Walcott damaging them as well, another 5-2. I remember 4-2 under Emre when you came back from behind as well. There's been a couple of 4-4s, 3-2. There's always a lot of goals in this game, and I'm kind of expecting the same in this one. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, and I think we'll obviously score in this game. We have a very good record at home against them, so and we always lose away from home against them as well for some reason. Every time we go away from home against Tottenham, they always beat us, and when they come to a place, we always beat them. So we have to win this game. I feel like we have to win this game this early in the season. If we beat Tottenham, you create an advantage for yourself, and you kind of damage their motivation as well, and the what is it called? You damage their confidence as well, basically. If we beat them this early in the season, you damage their confidence as well, and you build your own as well. We go into the Liverpool game, into the Borden Glimt game. This is really a busy month. We have 6 Premier League games, right? 6 Premier League games this month of 5. We have Nottingham Forest. We have 5 Premier League games this month and another 5 Europa League games or something like that. We have like 10 games this month. That's a lot of games to play this month, and some of them against Tottenham, Liverpool, PSV, some really tough games. So if we start the month on a positive note, then we are good to go. But if we start the month with a loss against Tottenham, then it kind of kills our confidence heading into the Liverpool game. And you don't want to lose 2 games in a row like that, 2 home games. So I'm very, very confident in terms of beating Tottenham at home because of the recent history. As I said, we've won 17, we've drawn 11, and they've only ever beaten us twice at our place in Premier League history. The last time we lost to them at home was back in 2010. That was 12 years ago. So that is a record I want to stay. I don't want to lose that record right now. I want that record to stay forever if possible. I want that record to be there with us, knowing that whenever Tottenham come to our place, we always beat them. And that's something that's always in their mentality as well, even the fans. Every time it's Arsenal away from home, they're like, we'll take a draw or something. But every time we go to their place, they're all very confident that they'll beat us. And the results show that they always beat us at their place, and we always beat them at our place. So let me know, must win or must not lose game for us. The other thing I want to talk about is Tottenham's form away from home this season and our form at home this season. So Tottenham away from home the last result, they did beat Leicester by 6 goals, but that was at Tottenham. So this season, Tottenham have played 4 games away from home. They drew with Chelsea 2-2. They also drew with West Ham 1-1. They lost to Sporting away from home in the Champions League, and they beat Nottingham Forest by 2-0. You would expect them to beat Nottingham Forest, of course. But apart from Nottingham Forest, all the other away games, Tottenham have not won any of their away games. And in the Champions League as well, they've lost to Sporting, conceding 2 goals in the last couple of minutes as well. So I wrote down some stats from that. I wanted to take a look at the number of goals they've conceded and the number of shots they've allowed, because for us this season, we've improved in terms of taking shots and defending a bit. Like against our Aston Villa, we only conceded like 3 shots or something like that, and they only scored directly from a corner kick. So we are a bit good in terms of defending that at home. So this season, away from home, Tottenham, they've allowed 59 shots in 4 games. Yes, Tottenham have allowed 59 shots in those 4 games. 59 shots against Chelsea. They even allowed 17 shots against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest took 17 shots against Tottenham. Now, if Tottenham allow Arsenal 17 shots, I would expect us to win that game. If they do allow us to take all those shots and they allow us all those chances, I would expect a win. Now, Tottenham is not the kind of team that will overpower you. Like if you play against Man City on their day, they can score 10 goals against you if they want. If you play against Bayern Munich on their day, they can score 10 goals against you if they want. Tottenham is not really, apart from when they beat Leicester, but Leicester have been on very, very poor form. You wouldn't expect Tottenham to come to our place and dominate possession and create and have 20 shots and 10 on target or something like that. You wouldn't really expect that. Actually, they went to Sporting and they were really parking the bus. They did create a few chances, but they were parking the bus against Tottenham. Against Sporting, sorry, they didn't want to lose. They weren't really going for the win, especially in the second half. They were kind of defending, hoping they wouldn't lose. So 59 shots conceded is very, very many for Tottenham away from home. Now, for us at home alone, we've taken 63 shots. So Tottenham away from home have conceded 59 shots. Arsenal at home, we've taken 63 shots. And that is only in 3 games, by the way. That is only in 3 games. We've taken 63 shots. That is a massive improvement. Arsenal is never the team to take that many shots and attempt that many shots and test the goalkeeper that much. Now, you can argue that the fact that we've taken 63 shots, 24 of them on target, only 24 out of the 63 shots. So we definitely need to be more clinical and more accurate in our shots and stuff like that. And we've only scored 8 goals from the 63 shots we've taken. That is not enough at all. Scoring 8 goals, like we scored 4 against Leicester, scored 2 against Fulham, and scored 2 against Aston Villa. It should have been more. We are creating the chances, but you're not clinical enough. So if the same happens in this game and Tottenham allows us to take more than 15 shots and we are on the top of the game and take more than 15 shots, I would expect us to score a few goals. So we need to be clinical. We can't take 20 shots in this game and then score 1 goal and then Tottenham gets a last minute chance and score from that. We cannot allow it at all. Another advantage you've had for us against other teams is set pieces. We scored from a corner against Crystal Palace. We scored from a corner against Leicester City. We scored from a corner against Bournemouth from a free kick, Saliba's goal. We also scored from a corner against Fulham this season. We are very good in terms of scoring from corner kicks from last season. I usually expect us to score from set pieces. So set pieces these days are very, very crucial to us. Like if we don't score from open play. Like, we usually win the games from set pieces. Like against Fulham, our last minute goal was from a corner. We didn't create anything open, like in open play. The last 10 minutes, we had to depend on a corner, and we scored from that. Now, the difference is that, yes, last time we scored against Brentford from a couple of headers as well. And Brentford are really good in terms of set pieces, just like us. They're actually second in terms of set pieces after us in the whole Europe. Tottenham score from set pieces as well. So if we can threaten Tottenham from set pieces, they can also threaten us from that. They've had a couple of goals from the likes of Dyer, Kane from corner kicks. They scored a corner kick against Chelsea in the last minute. I think they scored a corner kick against, I don't know if it was West Ham or something. They've scored a lot of corner kicks, just know that. I've seen them score like 3 or 4 times from corner kicks this season. So Tottenham are also a threat. Dyer, Kane, all those guys, very, very good from set pieces as well. So we need to take care of that too. So, with that said, which Tottenham players are you afraid of the most in this match? Which players do you think we should be watching out for the most in this game from Tottenham? So I'll give you 3, and then you can give me your own 3 that you think we should be watching out for. So the first player is definitely Harry Kane. Like, let's be honest, Harry Kane is the player that always scores against us. Like, Harry Kane has not even been playing for that long. He's not even been playing for 10 years in the Premier League yet. We've not really known him for 10 years. He has been at Tottenham for 10 years, but we've not really seen him in the Premier League that much scoring goals like since 2014 or something. So he's still fairly new. He's not hit a decade yet playing for Tottenham in the Premier League. But in that time, he has scored 13 goals against us. 13. Like, that is more. Remember Drogba? You remember how many goals Drogba used to score against us? He didn't even score that many against us when he was at Chelsea. Remember how many goals Rooney used to score against us? Not even him managed this kind of number of goals in those few games like that. So Harry Kane has scored 13 goals against us. And this season, he's been quite sharp as well. Like, even when he went to England, he scored a couple of goals. Like against Chelsea, he scored the equalizer in the last minute. Against West Ham as well, that own goal, I think he assisted it as well. So Harry Kane has been very good this season. He's been better than the likes of Son this season. Last season, Son was better. This season, Kane has started very, very well. So you would expect him to be a massive threat. So that's why I tell the likes of Gabriel, those mistakes of giving away the ball like we did against Mitrovic, you cannot allow it. We don't like Harry Kane, but if he gets a chance, he's going to score against you. Like, he's one of the best strikers ever. Like, I actually think if he didn't get the injuries he's been getting the last 4 years, I think if he stays at Tottenham for the next 3 years, I think he's going to get to Alan Shearer's record. It hurts, but I have a feeling Harry Kane will be the all-time Premier League top scorer in the next 3 years or something like that. If he scores 20, 25, he's already reached Alan Shearer's record. So he's already passed Thierry Henry recently in terms of scoring goals in the Premier League. So he will probably be one of the highest scorers in the Premier League unless he leaves the Premier League. From those 13 goals, he scored 6 of them have been penalties. Yep, we've given them so many penalties over the years, and we cannot allow ourselves to do that again. I think there's been like so many penalties in this game, like since 2017, 2018. I read a stat that since 2017, 2018, there's not been a game between Arsenal and Tottenham that hasn't had a penalty. I tried to remember if there was a penalty in the last game, but almost every single time we play Tottenham, we always give them a penalty for some reason. Like at the end of last season, Holding, I think, fouled Son, and Kane scored from a penalty kick. He scored 6 penalty kicks against us. So that is basically giving him a free goal, because when you give Harry Kane a penalty, he always scores. Like, he rarely misses. He's missed 1 penalty out of like 30 or 40. So it's like a goal. You just basically give them the goal. If you give them the penalty, you just count the goal because he'll not miss. So we need to stop doing that as well. But that is the first play I think we need to watch out for. Harry Kane, very, very dangerous against Arsenal, especially. Player number 2, I've gone for Richarlison, because this season for Tottenham, especially the last few games, he's looked very, very good. I watched him for Brazil as well in the friendlies recently. By the way, Brazil are looking really, really good. And Richarlison is one of those players that are looking really good. Like, his combination with Neymar and all those guys, they're looking pretty good. And last season, you'd remember when he played Everton, Richarlison actually scored a hat-trick against us, but 2 of those goals were disallowed. I remember him making jokes about Arsenal. We cannot allow that to happen. You cannot have Richarlison making jokes about Arsenal after the game. We cannot allow that. But he is a threat. If he starts, I'm not sure if he's going to start. They usually have a back 5 with 2 midfielders and 3 forwards. And Son, he was so good actually that Son was dropped to the bench in the last game against Leicester for Richarlison to start until Son came on and scored a hat-trick. Then now this game, I'm assuming Son is going to start. I'm assuming Harry Kane is going to start, obviously. So it's between Richarlison and Kulusevski. And I think Richarlison is going to start. I'm not Antonio Conte. I really don't care what he does. We just need to worry about our own team. But I think whoever starts Richarlison is very good this season as well. So we need to watch out for him as well. And there's this kind of battle in his head, like this rivalry of who signed the better player, Jesus or Richarlison, blah, blah, blah. I've been hearing that the last 3 months. Let's prove to them that it is Jesus. Jesus is 10 times better than Richarlison. But to be honest, he's looked very good, and he doesn't shy away from a battle. Richarlison will always get himself into battles. He'll fight with the likes of Gabriel. He'll fight with the likes of Jacques in the midfield. Richarlison will be there and disturbing our players, bothering our players. So that is a second player we definitely need to watch out for. And the third player, I've actually gone for Højbjerg, the midfielder, because apart from doing his job in midfield, he actually gets a couple of assists and goals. This season, I think he already has like 2 goals and something like 2 assists. In the Champions League as well, I think against Marseille, he assisted the goal from Richarlison. He gets forward a couple of times, and he definitely loves a midfield battle. So if Højbjerg, it's so crucial that if Højbjerg beats Thomas Partey in that midfield, you can very easily lose that game. You need Thomas Partey to overpower Højbjerg to give you an advantage in that midfield, because if it's the other way around and Højbjerg and Bentancur overpower Jacques and Partey, then you're in a bit of trouble. That is why someone like Partey has to be in this game. If Thomas Partey isn't fit enough to start in this game, you're in a bit of trouble, because I wouldn't really want I think Lokonga is good, but you still need to give him time. When you sign this player, Lokonga and Tavares, when you signed them, we were told we are going to give them time, a couple of seasons for them to reach the pace. So we can't really just throw him up against teams like Tottenham, against Højbjerg and Bentancur, experienced players who've been in and around. Bentancur has been at Juventus, and Højbjerg has been in the Premier League for years from his Southampton days. So I think Højbjerg is another player we need to watch out for. If Partey overpowers him, we are good. So that is another reason I really love Jacques in this kind of games. When we have Jacques and Partey in this kind of a game, I'm like, I'm safe. I'm okay with that, because I know they understand the magnitude of the game. We know Jacques is not going to be bullied in that midfield. You know, Partey is not going to be bullied in that midfield. So that is the third player that we need to watch out from Tottenham. I've gone for Richarlison, Harry Kane, and Højbjerg. Let me know, which 3 players do you guys think we need to watch out for from Tottenham? Is there any other player? Do you think Son is more of a threat than Kane? Maybe you do think that. I've not mentioned Son in that list because he's not been that good this season. He always scores against us. Usually when Kane scores, Son scores the other goal. But this season, Ben White at right back, he's marked out the likes of Zaha out of the game. So I'd really be confident in White to potentially keep Son quiet. Hopefully, if he does keep Son quiet, that's one threat shut out. So we can deal with the likes of Kane. And if Gabriel and Saliba at the top of their game, then we can mark out Kane as well. He will probably get chances. We'll need Ramsdale to save a few of them. But there is a chance. If you block them from midfield, if you don't allow the ball to get to Son and carry Kane, that is great enough. And they've actually not been, as I just said, they've not been that great in terms of away games. Like Tottenham is not the kind of team that will come to your place and have 20 shots or something like that. Not at all. They will not do that to you. And for us, I mentioned the number of shots that we took. We've taken at home 21 on target. For us, Aston Villa, Fulham, and Leicester, all 3 of those teams combined, they only took 8 shots against us on target. So when our defense turns up and our midfield turns up, it doesn't have to be like Tottenham will have 20 shots in this game. No, we can actually keep them down to 5 shots in this game. And as long as we defend well from midfield and from the front, win all the second balls, win all the battles. Jesus wins his battle against the likes of Dyer. Saka comes back, goes forward, comes back, goes forward. Same with Martinelli on the other side. Partey, Xhaka strong in midfield. Our defense stays organized. No silly mistakes. Usually in this kind of games, we shoot ourselves in the foot. We do so well, take 20 shots, and then boom, someone has given away the ball and the game is 1-1 and we end up conceding another goal in the last minute or something like that. So I am confident though. So those are the Spurs players to watch. Let me see what you guys are saying, and then I'll come to the next topic in terms of which players are going to start for us. Let's see. Mbao says both of them should start. I'll come to that. I'm Edward watching from Denmark. Arsenal winning 3-1, says Edward. I appreciate it. Tomorrow, trust me, Arsenal will take the lead by 2 goals, says Koroma. Like every time we face Tottenham, though, not every time. We've come back from they've scored fast against us, and we've come back from that 19 times in Premier League history. So it's never the end of the world when Tottenham score fast against us. We've come back from behind against them a lot of times, like 19 times to be specific in the Premier League. That's a lot. 2-0 win for Arsenal. We are going to win, says Bonner, sorry. We are going to win the match no matter what, because we have a team that really wants to win, says Murphy. We need to win this game, says Jay. How are you doing? We have to win this game. No excuses, says RK. A must-win game for Arsenal. All the best, boys, says Jeffer. We are going to win the match, and then they should start Zinchenko and also start Odegaard as well. I'll come to that. That is the next topic. Kehinde. This is a big revenge for Arsenal for what they did to us last minute of last season. I think 3-1 will be a fair scoreline. There's usually a lot of goals in this game. Actually, from every other game that we've played, Arsenal versus Liverpool, Arsenal versus Everton, I think Arsenal versus Chelsea, like all the games that we played in the Premier League history, I think only 3 games have more goals. So games between Arsenal and Tottenham have seen 171 goals. And I think Arsenal against Liverpool has seen 175. So if they're like 4 or 5 goals tomorrow between Arsenal and Tottenham, that's the highest scoring game in Premier League history for us. So there's usually a lot of goals, 4-4s, 5-4s, a lot of goals. Showing for Arsenal, bigger to Arsenal fan. Can I know the injury of Thomas Partey, says Lubari. I think Thomas Partey will make it tomorrow. He better make it tomorrow, because if Thomas Partey is not there, like as I just said, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. You need all your players fit. John says winning the game for us, Saka will hit first goal in this game. Fun enough, John, I predicted the same. I actually predicted Saka to score the first goal in this one. Count me in. This is an express win, says Ole. Beating them is a must, and this time we will beat them home and away. I'd love that. We never win away from home. Like Liverpool, the last time we beat them away from home, 2012. Tottenham, the last time we beat them away from home, 2015. Man United, last time we beat them at home, away from home, was like 2020. Before that, it was 2006. Chelsea, before we beat them away from home the last couple of seasons, the last time we had beaten them was like 2011 or something like that. And Man City as well, I think 2015 was the last time we beat them away from home. So we never win these big games away from home, rarely. I believe it's a must win for Arsenal when Partey starts. I'm wishing our boys good luck, says Hillary. Good luck from Moyes as well. Thank you, Francis. Miss Partey fit to play tomorrow. 80%, yes, Odua. So me, always feel win, and to be honest, this game will have that 3 points. I always feel confident at home against Tottenham. So let me come to the next topic, and that is who is going to start for us. The first question is, both of these players are fit, I'm imagining. Who would you start between Tierney and Zinchenko tomorrow? So Zinchenko is back from his injury. So Tierney played against Brentford. He played okay. Tierney, obviously, the last couple of seasons, when he's fit, is one of the best left backs that we have. One of the best left backs we've had for a long time. One of the best left backs after Robertson in the league, like the last couple of seasons. But Zinchenko has kind of taken his position so far. So if both of them are fit tomorrow, who do you want to see starting against Richarlison or Kulusevski on that side? It's going to be a tough game. So who do you trust more, Tierney or Zinchenko? So Tierney is used to playing in the North London derby for us. He's played a few times already. Zinchenko has never played in the North London derby, but he's not new to the Premier League. He's played in the Manchester derby against Manchester United several times, so he's not a new player in the Premier League at all. So he's not. It's not going to be something strange for him, like, oh my goodness, Tottenham, this is how tough it is. No, he's used to these Premier League battles, whether it's Brighton, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, whatever it is. He's used to seeing this kind of game. So who would you start? For me, really, I wish I can give you a direct answer, but I really don't mind who starts, to be honest. If Zinchenko starts, great. If Tierney starts, great. I have a feeling it's going to be Zinchenko because Tierney got like a head injury in the last game. So I think Zinchenko is going to start. But I think in terms of, I think Tierney's in terms of pushing forward, he's not shown us that this season. Zinchenko has been a bit good going forward this season. But in terms of understanding and all that of the derby itself, obviously we'll go for Tierney. But I really don't mind who starts. I really love both of them. So whoever starts, I'm great. I'm grateful whoever starts, as long as both of them are fit. That is a good headache to have. Zinchenko, Tierney, that is a good headache to have. There's a time, guys. There's a time we were trying to decide whether to start Debuchy or Santos. That was a bad headache. This time we are deciding whether to start Tierney or Zinchenko, that is a good headache. So I'll need you guys to help me. Who would you start? Because for me, for this one, I cannot really give you a direct answer. I really don't mind whoever starts. I'm okay with anyone who starts there. And then the second question from our team is Fabio Vieira or Odegaard. Odegaard missed the last game against Brentford, and Fabio Vieira played really, really well in that match. He scored a fantastic goal for us, and against Man United when he came on as well, Fabio Vieira was good. But Odegaard is the captain. Last season, Arsenal against Tottenham at the Emirates Stadium, Odegaard was absolutely brilliant. I think he got something like a 9 out of 10. Him, Smith Rowe, Saka, Aubameyang, they absolutely ripped apart Tottenham last time we played them at home. And Odegaard was very, very good in that game. So now in this one, remember I just said Tierney and Odegaard, one of them understands the North London derby more, but the other one is not new to the Premier League anyway. Now, this one, Fabio Vieira is new to the Premier League. Yes, he's played against the likes of Benfica and Sporting in Portugal, but he's never ever played a North London derby. Odegaard has scored in the North London derby before 2 seasons ago, and he was on loan. And last season, actually, every time Odegaard has played for us against Tottenham at home, the 2 games, he's been a standout player in those games. So Odegaard is more threatening in this game, and also he's the captain. So for this one, I'm going to give you a direct answer. I'm still going to go with Odegaard. He is the captain. I think he's used to the Premier League more. I think he's used to this kind of game more as well. And I would expect him to pull more strings in midfield than what Fabio Vieira would do. And having that option of Fabio Vieira from the bench, I think is good enough. So for now, for this game, later on in the season, even from the next game, I've always said I'd love to see Fabio Vieira and Odegaard on the pitch at the same time. But for this one, I'd definitely choose Odegaard because he's used to this game and he is the captain. We need that leadership on the pitch as well. And we have seen his leadership qualities this season from Odegaard, so I would go for him. Now, let's not forget, Fabio Vieira was very good against Brentford, but let's not forget that Odegaard has done very good already this season against Leicester at home, against all these guys at home, especially. He's done very good. So let's not forget how good Odegaard has been himself this season against Bournemouth away from home as well. He has been good too. And he is the captain. So I don't know which kind of message it sends when you leave your captain on the bench. So I think Odegaard is fit. Both of them are fit. It's going to be very interesting to see which kind of decisions Arteta makes for tomorrow. Those are the 2 that I'm really looking forward to seeing who he starts. The others, it's very simple. We know Jesus is going to start instead of Nketiah. We know Gabriel is going to start. We know Saliba is going to start. Ben White, Tomiyasu, both of them are fit. You can argue, some of you have seen wants to start Tomiyasu, but I think Ben White has been so good. I can't see him being left on the bench, especially the fact that he marked out the likes of Zaha. I don't think he's going to be left on the bench. And he's also fresh. He didn't play during the international break. He was at home. So I think he's definitely going to start in this one. Prince says Zinchenko should start. He adds something to the midfield and Tierney. Good point. Zinchenko can also help out in midfield. That's a good point. 2 of them, great. It all depends on the coach, says Koroma. Odegaard to start, says Francis. Moses says Tierney is better in terms of defending than Zinchenko. Interesting. And you definitely need to defend in this game. The difference between Tierney and Zinchenko is for attacking or offensive-wise. I will go for Tierney, but for defensive, I'll go for Zinchenko. So already you have 2 different opinions. Isaac says for offensive, you'd go for Tierney. For defensive, you'd go for Zinchenko. But I saw someone else saying Zinchenko. Where is it? Moses says Tierney is better in terms of defending. So those are already 2 different people, 2 different comments saying Tierney is better defensively. Someone else is saying Zinchenko is better defensively. Let's say Odegaard says Idrissa. Ismail says what is the Arsenal lineup. We'll find out tomorrow. I do have what I think we'll see tomorrow. I'll bring it up on screen soon. Odegaard should start ahead of Vieira, says Exodus. So a lot of you are going for Odegaard. I'm seeing Odegaard as well. Odegaard to start. Odegaard as well. So many of you are going for Odegaard. Is there any of you who want Fabio Vieira to start instead of Odegaard? With a good reason why. Not because Fabio Vieira scored a goal. Let's be more open than that. Not because Fabio Vieira scored a goal. Easy win tomorrow. Smart Boy says Ruben. 3-1 to Arsenal, says Idrissa. We'll come to the predictions very soon. Thierry Henry and Arsene Wenger will be at the Emirates to motivate them to win, says Moyes. Arsenal is winning, straight win. I'd like to know what you guys will say next week against Liverpool, because we never win against Liverpool. But against Tottenham, we always win. My team, no matter what the condition tomorrow, let's see. Tierney must start. He can move with Son like the way he did against Crystal Palace, says Okello. If Partey plays tomorrow, I'm 100% sure we'll win the game. If no Partey, 80%. I seriously think if you don't have Partey, that seriously can drop up to like 60%, to be honest. Or do I think Partey gives you a huge difference in that team? Gunners must win at the Emirates, and Son will score against before that. We have to. Arsenal is going to win tomorrow. How far is Thomas Partey's health? He's fit enough to play tomorrow. Yes, he is fit enough to play tomorrow. But this is Thomas Partey we're talking about, Isaac. I can tell you that, and then in the next 1 hour, he's not fit. Hopefully not, because his injuries are too many and too random. It can happen anywhere. It can happen in training, warm-ups, all that can happen. So crazy. So another stat I had for this game is I've given you the home stat that we always beat them at home. They've only beaten us twice. I've given you the Hurricane stat. He scored 6 penalties against us, and they've actually been 21 penalties in this game. So there is a chance that one of us will get a penalty, but you just need to be very careful at the back. Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, Zinchenko, Tierney, whoever starts, no need to give these guys penalties and all that. They can score for themselves. They've scored more goals than us in the Premier League this season, so you can't really afford to give them penalties and stuff like that. We've also gotten 45 points from losing positions against Tottenham. Like, they've scored against us fast and they've come back from behind to get 45 points against them. So it's not the end of the world if they score against us fast, but I would prefer us to score fast against them like last season. Just kill them in the first 20 minutes. What about Thomas Partey? Thomas Partey will be there. That is one of the reasons why he came back to Arsenal earlier than expected with the knock. I think he will be fit. He has been training this week. Odegaard has a Premier League experience, says Adeleke. Odegaard should start. He's played more derby games, unlike Fabio Vieira, says Ola. Ibrahim says the time for the game tomorrow, it depends where you are, because there's so many people watching this. England, Nigeria, Uganda, Kenya, Cameroon, like every time is different. So I'll just give you the UK time for the Arsenal time. So it's starting at 12:30 UK time. So calculate that with African time, European time, South American time, whichever. Good luck, says Uche. I want Vieira to play in the second half, says Fofana. Is Partey starting? I think so. I think he will start. Jose says Arsenal don't have the character to play the big boys in the league. It's disgusting, says Jose. I mean, I don't know about that, because if you look at the results, yes, there's a time like 2016, 2017, we are absolutely terrible in terms of playing these teams. But last season and the previous season, we beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge both times. Last season, we beat Tottenham at home. We beat Man United at home. I mean, Manchester City away from at home last season, we should have gotten something from that game. They scored against us in the 97th minute. Liverpool as well, I think they came, I don't know, they scored like in the second half or something. Even in the Carabao Cup, we went to Liverpool and drew at Anfield. So the last couple of seasons, we haven't been that bad. Like, especially Tottenham and Man United, every time they come to the Emirates, we always win those games. Every time we go to their places, then they beat us. But every time Man United come to the Emirates, Tottenham come to the Emirates, we always win those games. And these days we go to Chelsea and win. And we usually beat Chelsea more than they beat us the last couple of seasons. So against City and Liverpool, though, it's different. We never beat Man City home or away, and for Liverpool as well. So let's see what happens this season. Watching you live from Uganda. Thanks for your update, says Josh. I appreciate it. Let Odegaard start, says Idrissa. Moses says this game requires experience. Odegaard should start, but if the game stays 0-0 for a long time, put in Vieira because he has a better shooting rate than Odegaard. Compare Kane and Jesus in terms of goal scoring, says Josh. Okay, Master will prevail, says Paul. So someone had asked earlier on about the lineup. So let me just show you the lineup I'm expecting for tomorrow. I did already do a predicted lineup, but here it is, in case you didn't see it. So this is what I'm expecting for tomorrow. Ramsdale in goal, a back four of Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White. I'm expecting Partey, Jacques, and Odegaard, and then Saka, Jesus, and Martinelli. That is what I'm expecting for tomorrow. And then on the bench, Turner, Tierney, Tomiyasu, Cedric, Holding, Lokonga, Vieira, Marquinhos, and Ketia. I really hope Smith Rowe, by the way, I was supposed to do that update yesterday, but Smith Rowe is now injured until December. He underwent a surgery. So yeah, I'm really hurt that Smith Rowe is going through these injuries, because I feel like he's a very, very good player, especially last season. And the last 2 seasons, Saka and Smith Rowe have basically carried us. And 2 seasons ago, Smith Rowe and Saka carried us through the whole season. So Smith Rowe is a good player on his day, but his injuries are affecting us. Like if you add Smith Rowe onto that bench and you have the option of Fabio Vieira, Smith Rowe, that is great. So that is what I'm expecting for tomorrow. The only change that could happen is probably Tierney for Zinchenko, but I think Zinchenko will start in this game. The forward players will definitely start. Speaking of forward players, Gabriel Jesus, as we talked last time, he's on 4 yellow cards. So if he picks up another yellow card in this game, he's going to miss the Liverpool match. And I don't know about you, but I kind of need Jesus to play against Liverpool against Van Dijk. It's Nketiah has been okay for us the last few months, but we all know, like Liverpool, the likes of Van Dijk and Matip, we need some energy. And Jesus this season, he's really showed me that he's not all about scoring goals and all that. Like his strength. I don't know how many times you guys have seen him, like, was it against Brentford? There's a time, Brentford or Aston Villa, there's a time he just knocked the defender, and I was like, oh my goodness, this guy is actually very, very strong. Like he can compete against those big defenders. So he's not going to be afraid to compete against Van Dijk next week. But if he picks up a yellow card in this game, then we have a slight problem in terms of next week. We'll have to start Nketiah, and Nketiah has to play really, really well. In terms of comparing him and Kane, obviously in Premier League history, you can't really compare them. Kane is absolutely lethal in terms of scoring goals. But this season, Jesus has scored 4 goals and assisted 3 times. That is a very good return for me. I'm definitely happy with that. The first few games, he scored. Even when he doesn't score, like against Crystal Palace, I think he had a good game. So Jesus gives us a lot more, not only scoring goals. That is why I need him to be there next week as well. Kane this season, I'm not sure how many goals Kane has scored exactly this season, but he has scored a few as well. I think he might have scored more. Yeah, I think he scored more against Jesus this season, but some of them are penalties as well. Jesus doesn't take our penalties. Saka does, but Kane is definitely very, very good in terms of scoring goals. I think actually in Premier League history, would I put him in the top 5? I'd be very tempted. Thierry Henry definitely be there. Shearer, Rooney is always in my top 5. But Kane, I've told you, Kane, like if Kane stays in the Premier League for 3 seasons, he's already passed Rooney and Shearer. So we have to start talking about him seriously. But in terms of comparing them, I think both of them are good strikers. The guy who asked that question, I can't find your comment. Diko says, watching from Nairobi. Adeleke says, we are winning this game. After the defeat at the Emirates in November of 2010, Tottenham have not won any games at the Emirates since then, losing total of 11 games, says Josie. And it's not just losing. We've beat them 5-2 twice. We've beaten them 4-2. We've beaten them, was it 3 goals? I think it was 3-1 last season. So we usually score a lot of goals against them. That is a good thing. And as I said, in terms of taking shots and them conceding shots this season, they've not been that great away from home. They've only won once away from home this season. Yes, they faced tough teams like West Ham and Chelsea away from home, but even in the Champions League against Sporting, they lost. I appreciate it, Koroma. Good luck and may the odds ever be in your favor, says Sahid. If our 2 wingers can play very well tomorrow, we beat Tottenham. Good point, Muiz. So Tottenham play in a back 5 with Perisic bombing forward, and if Emerson Royal starts on the other side, I will need Martinelli to end his career, because Royal is probably the worst player in their team, especially this season. So if you have Martinelli at the top of his game, in terms of the best players for us this season, I think Xhaka, Saliba, and Martinelli have been our best players this season. That is my top 3 of the best players so far for us this season. But I know Jesus has done well. I know you can argue Saka's done okay, but not the best so far. So for them on that wing, if Martinelli is at the top of his game, then we are going to do good, because I expect Martinelli to rip apart that guy on that side, Emerson Royal. On the other side, Perisic has a bit of experience, but he goes forward as well. He takes their set pieces, corners, and all that. So if you have Saka at the top of his game as well, then you're good to go, as you've said. Moyes, in terms of wingers, if the wingers are great, then you're good. But I also need my midfield to be good. I definitely need my midfield to be great, with Thomas Partey and Xhaka as well. If Xhaka plays the way he's been playing the last few weeks, and Partey is playing as well and plays at the top of his game, we are going to win the match. As I say, Tottenham is not really the team that is going to score 3 or 4 goals against you, and unless you have a really terrible team. If you give them chances, they potentially score, but I wouldn't expect us to give them that many chances. Isaac says, great show. Martin and all the boys are watching you live, hopefully. Let's see. So let me know your predictions for the game. Let me know what your predictions are for the game. Josh says, talk about the referee that's taking on this game. He looks like bias. Is it Anthony Taylor? I think. I'm not sure who's going to be the referee, but I saw somewhere that it's going to be Anthony Taylor. Hopefully I'm right. If it's Anthony Taylor, actually, Anthony Taylor is the referee that has been... He was the referee in the finals against Chelsea in 2017 and in 2020. The times we played the FA Cup finals against Chelsea the last couple of years, Anthony Taylor was the referee in those matches, and we won the trophy. So I usually don't have trouble with Anthony Taylor, but I do have trouble with other guys like Jonathan Moss and all those guys. Thank you, Josh. Thank you for being here, Naomi. Martinelli and Saka, if they play well tomorrow, Jesus will destroy them. So Jesus, definitely. This is, by the way, we have a lot of players who are playing their first North London derby. Jesus is playing for the first time. Saliba is playing for the first time. Fabio Vieira will be playing for the first time. Zinchenko will be playing for the first time. For them as well, the likes of Perisic, but they do have players who've been there a lot. Kane, Son, and all those guys who've been there for years. So my prediction for the match, I am going to go for a tight one. As I said, we've had a lot of 5-2s, 4-2s, 4-3s, all that. But this time I think we'll get a 2-1 win. I can see them scoring for sure. Maybe 1-1 until the second half, and then hopefully we can get a winner. Listen, if you can get 2 goals in the first half without them scoring, I'll be very, very happy. This is the kind of game that if you win, you give yourself confidence heading into the next games. Like, even if we play Liverpool next week and you draw, even if they beat us, I'm hoping we can at least get a draw. And after that, we have Leeds, Southampton, and then Nottingham Forest. I'd be confident of winning those games. If we win this game, we go to 21 points. When was the last time you saw Arsenal with 21 points in September? That is rare. We usually get to 21 points in like November or something like that. Sometimes you can even go to December without getting to 21 points. So this season has been very, very good. A very good start so far this season. We need Partey for sure, says Naomi. Ame says that this is my honest prediction: Arsenal 3, Tottenham 0. I'll be very happy with that, Josie. Amir says Arsenal 3-1. Moise says, with Partey and Xhaka, believe me, you're beating them. I really hope Partey plays. I think he'll play, but you never know. You can just wake up tomorrow and you find out Partey's not there. You never know. We just have to pray with Thomas Partey. Arsenal 2, Tottenham 1, says Hassan. We can still compare Kane and Jesus. Kane mostly depends on being fed, while Jesus is always area fighting for the ball. I do agree with that, but actually in the last couple of seasons, Kane has not really been that player of waiting for the ball. Like last season, I think he was quite good. He got double figures in terms of goals and assists. If you look at Son's goals, like Son's last 30 goals, just check how many times Kane has assisted him, because Kane actually does pick up the ball these days and plays some really good passes to Son and all those guys. So it's not really the Kane from a few years ago. I think Kane has improved that part of his game. He usually comes deep. Actually, their fans are complaining that Kane plays in midfield too much. He needs to go forward more. That is what Tottenham fans were saying last season. So, but in terms of so far what you've seen this season, obviously Jesus will get into more battles and everything. I think Jesus has been involved in like 60-something duels, and I don't know the exact number, but I know it's in the 60s, and Ken has been involved in like 20-something. So Jesus gets into midfield, fights the midfielders, comes back for the ball, fights with the defenders and the attackers from the other teams. Ken doesn't really do that. So apart from that, I agree with Moses. We need to win. Arsenal 4, Arsenal Spurs 2. Definitely would take that. Aaron just says Arsenal 3, Spurs 1. So that is the North London derby preview. Tomorrow will be an early one. I'll have a match build up before the match tomorrow, so very early tomorrow, and then obviously the match reaction tomorrow. Really hoping we can get the win. If we beat Tottenham, you are good to go. So 2-1 for me, Saka and Jesus to score the goals. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.